Good evening. My name is Mark Caskey, and as it pertains to taking care of animals in my class, as it pertains to the lesson plan, we don't really have to do that because it's a biology class. I do try to incorporate animals into my class. We have a bearded dragon. We have guinea pigs, one boy and two girls. We have a hydroponic station where we also have goldfish that are at the bottom of the hydroponic station, and that ties in with nitrogen fixation. We before in the beginning of each semester, it's only been um, one full semester since we've had all these animals, and then another when we had just the bearded dragon. But the first thing that I do at the beginning of class is we go over what the animal is. As a person that's worked in a lab with animals and have had to deal with, obviously different types of protocol, knowing what the animal is lets you know how to be safe in terms of what the animal can do to you, but obviously what you can also do to the animal in terms of potential conflicts. Um, we also go in terms of how to take care of it, what the animal eats, what is required to take care of the animal if you were to have that animal outside of the classroom for yourself. Um, if anything were to happen, if you were to get bitten by this type of animal, what does that mean? What can potentially happen to you? And what should you do if that were to happen? Outside the classroom, I think it's the same. During the cells and genetics unit, we go over what does it mean to be a living thing? And I ask the students, is a plant a living thing? And then obviously, hopefully they say yes. And then we go over, just because something is not crying or it can't scream doesn't mean that it doesn't respond to what we imagine scientifically what pain is. If you were to cut a tree, I ask them, does it bleed? Some know it, but most will say no. And I say, well, does it produce sap? What does that sap do? Does that sap come out of the tree? They say yes. I say, well, what happens to that sap? Is it similar to a scab? And then they start to make the connections. Like, yes, what happens to the sap? It hardens, similar to a scab. So I say, well, do you think that a tree reacts the same way that we do, but it can't cry or scream or say anything verbally? And then we get into the concept that trees actually communicate with each other via mycelium. Um, so I think whether or not you're able to have animals in the classroom because of the protocol, I think it's always good just in terms of viable teaching lessons. Thank you and have a good day.